Very unusual move. Sony has pulled the game Cyberpunk 2077 from its PlayStation Store, offering refunds to frustrated customers. Bloomberg video game reporter Jason Schreier joins us now from New York. Jason, it's great to have you on the show today. Let's start with what happened here. Why is this so unprecedented, and what made it bad enough for Sony to do this and pull the game? Not just that, but offer refunds too.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. We do not see this type of thing happen very often. Occasionally you'll get a game that is full of bugs or feels unfinished in some way, but it is extremely rare for a game to be such a disaster that one of the console manufacturers feels the need to pull it from their store and offer refunds. I think what happened here is that the company behind the game, CD Projekt SA, wanted to offer refunds to people who were unsatisfied, which makes sense. And because of a quirk in Sony's system and the way that they offer refunds on PlayStation, Sony actually had to pull the game in order to make refunds widely available. They essentially were saying, okay, we're going to give refunds only for faulty games, but if this game is faulty, then we can't really sell it in the store, can we?
So this is probably, if you're not following the story closely, this could be the first time you're hearing about this game. But Jason, you've been reporting inside the company there was tension before this was even pulled. Take us into what the employees went through in the development of this game, which, by the way, was over 8 years in the making, right?
Yeah, it's funny. They announced it over 8 years ago, but I'm not sure that the development was actually over 8 years because from what I've heard and from what people in the company have told me, development didn't really start in earnest until the completion of their last game, The Witcher 3, which was widely received and really put CD Projekt SA, this company, on the map, turned them into one of the biggest publicly traded companies in Poland.
Wow.
Yeah, so this game was a struggle for a lot of people. CD Projekt SA is a company that embraces crunch, which is the video game industry's term for excessive overtime, lots of long hours, nights, weekends, lost family time. This is something that is ubiquitous in the video game industry, but it's very much part of the culture at CD Projekt SA. And yeah, it was a rough time. The consensus that I'm hearing from a lot of people who work or have worked there is that the deadlines were just unrealistic and releasing this year. The game was delayed 3 times this year, but even that, all of those deadlines, from what I've heard, were pretty unrealistic, as was this one, as we're now seeing.
Based on your reporting, Jason, is there any indication as to a timeline when this could be back in the PlayStation Store?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be longer than a few months at the most. Everybody at the company, I think, is committed. Unfortunately, they're going to have to put in even more long hours over the coming months and weeks to get some updates up. But thankfully, because of today's connected world, all video games can be updated through what's called patches that are released online and fix problems and update the game in all sorts of different ways. So I wouldn't be surprised if by, I don't know, February, March, if this is a completely different story and people are saying, hey, this game is really good now. But it's unfortunate that this was their first impression to a lot of people.
I saw one of your tweets last night. You wrote that Cyberpunk is so busted on PS4 that Sony is offering full refunds and even removing it from the PlayStation Store. In the tweet, you had exclamation points, and you continued it with asking how many developers or programs or testers at the project tried to raise the alarm. The game was not just ready. What are you hearing from outside of this organization and just the reaction in the gaming community about a move that's so unprecedented?
Yeah, people are shocked. People are sympathetic, I think. People feel really bad for the developers who are kind of caught in this awful situation, who are going to have to put in extra hours as a result of all this. People are really frustrated. I think that most of the blame that I've seen is correctly placed on the management of the studio, the people who ran things, the people who, I believe Bloomberg reported, lost upwards of $1 billion combined in total stock losses as a result of all this.
Wow.
So they're certainly getting punished, although I think they're doing just fine even with those losses. But those are the people who ultimately decided that the game had to be released this year. They're the ones who fundamentally the blame always has to be on the people who run the company.
Jason Schreier from Bloomberg News. Jason, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
We break news on YouTube for YouTubers.